Welcome to the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. This is Season 3, Episode 12. And this season, we're bringing you the world in a can. Today, we're bringing you a small taste of Mendocino County in California, home of the International Canned Wine Competition. But before we get to that, let's go through our wine nerd word of the week. This is underbrush. Now, there's many descriptive words and phrases that are used to describe flavors or smells in a wine. And this is one that describes the aromas in a wine that are reminiscent of wet leaves, dampness, slightly decayed vegetation, very fall-like. And that brings us to our can of the week, which is the Sands Wine Company 2017 vintage Zinfandel, a 375 milliliter can with 14% alcohol. Now, Sands is the name of the brand, and what does it mean? Well, it means Sands additives, Sands chemicals, and Sands pretense. And this is a product of Jake Stover and Gina Schrober. And they live out in Mendocino County. In fact, this wine comes from the eastern block of the Poor Ranch Vineyard in Mendocino County. And they harvested it September 1st and crushed it October 5th. So, where did I find this one? I found this at Grapes, the wine company in White Plains, New York. Went in there and asked my standard question, which is, do you have any wine in cans? And surprisingly, had a great conversation with the people there, and went to, he was pointed out that this was an excellent wine and that I should try it. So that's quite a while ago now, maybe a year. And just wasn't doing red wines at the time. It wasn't that part of our season, so I kept it and look forward to opening it now. Now, it is fermented in stainless steel. It's vegan-friendly, and it uses native yeasts. There is some malolactic fermentation, so that will give it some body. I'm not sure that it'll have a taste of underbrush, but you never know. So, the last couple episodes we've had guests and such, but ultimately this podcast was originally just a guy opening a can of wine and talking about it, and that's what we're here to do today. So without any further ado, let's open this can of Sands Wine 2017 Zinfandel and see how it tastes. Very nice color, I'd say. Garnet would be my take on this. I'm not sure that it started out that way, but this is now 17 and 3 and 4, 7 years old. It smells nice, maybe rose petals. I could smell that. Cherries, jam. It's not oxidized, but it's certainly aged a little bit. Let's taste it. Yeah, jammy. I taste cherries in there. No real smokiness, but it's not aged in oak, so I wouldn't expect that. What would you pair this with? I could see this going really good with any sort of meat, be it barbecued, poultry. It might go good with your Thanksgiving turkey, pasta. Zinfandel is a decent wine. It pairs well. Our shout out for this week goes out to William Tisherman, aka Tish at the Grapes. Excellent recommendation. Thank you for the information on canned wines and wine in general. I've been back a couple times looking for bottles of wine and more cans at Grapes. And they say if if you can think of it, they can probably get it. They're a real specialized store. And also call out to our Spotify listeners joining us for on YouTube. And, think about joining us on YouTube. That would be great. And also, if anybody wants to see something visual, go to eBay and search the Canned Wine Podcast, and you'll see our latest California edition of the Canned Wine hat. Now, our head scratcher. If you remember last week's head scratcher, the answer was South African penguins. So that was the bird we were looking for. And this week's question, I'm going to make you go to eBay and take a look. How much is the asking price for a Canned Wine Podcast cap on eBay? Take a look and then think about it. And what else can you do to get a cap for free? I've mentioned it in the past. Subscribe, comment, share, send us a note. We got lots of swag to give away. So the first person that gets back to us has a hat in the mail to them. So in closing, thank you for tuning into the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember, as always, to enjoy responsibly, and just because it comes in a can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. The Canned Wine Podcast is a Center Stage production, all rights reserved.